I should have been on the new computer, but apparently I'm not on the new computer. I thought I
You lied.
switched it out.
You lied to me.
I
That
didn't
was
lie. I
it was
just
an
double checked my thing. See, I'm telling the truth.
oh, it was an honest mistake. I
It was
see.
an honest mistake. I thought I had swapped it out, but apparently I swapped out the wrong computers. Apparently I was on the right computer and I swapped it out to the wrong computer. Ouch.
David
Okay.
John, an expat in Germany. You mentioned earlier. Oh, did we do this one right? No.
No.
You mentioned earlier that Poland and Slovakia were to send MiG-29s to Ukraine, or that if they were to do so, it would constitute an act of war. Please elaborate.
Well, um, it wasn't just me that said that. President Biden said it, so maybe we should ask him to elaborate. We should probably ask the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to elaborate because that's what he thought too. Everybody thought that transferring combat aircraft to Ukraine would constitute would violate a red line. One, how do you get the aircraft there? You see, I can take a tank, I can take an artillery piece, I can put it on a train, and I can roll it across the border. But to get an aircraft into Ukraine, a Ukrainian pilot has to leave Ukraine and fly it in, or a Polish pilot, or a Czech pilot, a Slovakian pilot has to fly it into Ukraine. And in doing so, you become an active participant in the conflict. But apparently, they've decided that that's not it's not a big deal. They could do a short, low-level flight through the Carpathian Mountains and land on an improvised highway strip right over the border, and transfer pilots at that point in time, or transfer the aircraft. Then they're done. Um, but the Russians have for some time now been putting up with a lot of stuff from U.S. and from NATO in terms of escalation, and Russia's in the escalation management business. And we'll go back to the answer to a previous question, which is Russia's winning this war. Russia's going to win this war. This war will be over by the end of summer, early fall. And so, why would Russia do anything to disrupt this inevitable outcome? So even though the transfer of these aircraft, small numbers by the way, constitutes active participation in the conflict, I think Russia is just going to say, "Go ahead, send them in. We'll shoot them down when they take off in Ukrainian airspace."
Okay. A. Vinogradova from
And
Lubuk.
Novosibirsk.
Yeah, I know. I was just pausing while the feedback stops.
Oh, I'm getting hammered even more.
Gotta compensate for it somehow. We start to see a hint from Zelenskyy that they may retreat from Bakhmut, which is a great setback to his society's PR. Is Zelenskyy still believing they have a chance, or is it pure PR for him? Counteroffensive? When? How? Where?
I mean, did I compensate enough?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Look, Zelenskyy, all he has is hope right now. He's staring disaster in the face. So everything he does is pure PR. The Bakhmut gamble has failed. The idea was to break the back of Wagner, break the back of the Russian military in Bakhmut. The opposite has occurred. The Ukrainian army's back has been broken. And again, I go down to revert to an answer of a previous question. I don't see how a viable spring offensive can take place, and I think even Zelensky's starting to realize that there's no hope for a spring offensive. There's no hope for that kind of attack. That the best thing he can hope for is to somehow desperately hold on to the front lines. That's why you see it. Just recently, there's been talk about the Ukrainians putting even more troops into Bakhmut in an effort to stall the Russian attack. But as Zelensky earlier said, if Bakhmut falls, um, you're going to open up all of the Donetsk Republic to Russian, occupation because there won't be much left of the Ukrainian army to stop them.
Okay. Fu from Chicago. It looks like Trump is asking his advisors to draft plans for an invasion of Mexico to stop them from joining BRICS. Do you still support him regardless?
Well, I mean, the notion that I support him regardless, there's always strings attached to everything. So the idea of blind blind support is not there. Plus, I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm very uncomfortable with many aspects of Donald Trump. That what makes him attractive to me is what I call the Trump standard when it comes to arms control, at least as articulated recently in regards to Russia. But that Trump standard always comes with a heavy caveat, like Trump withdrew from the INF treaty, like Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear agreement. Um, so Trump is not pure as the driven snow on disarmament, and then there's a whole lot of mud in my book about everything else that he stands for, and the idea of the United States, um, invading Mexico um, is just ludicrous. I mean, and we'll see. I mean, if Trump has Trump come out and said that, or is this just rumor? I know that Trump's unhappy about the cartels. He's insinuated that maybe American force could be used against the cartels. That's an act of war. It's a violation of sovereignty. And I think Mexico joining BRICS just makes sense for Mexico. If you look at it from a Mexican standpoint, why do they want to continue to function as a de facto economic colony of the United States? They don't. There's nothing in it for them. So there's that. I just don't see Trump getting away with the actual invasion of Mexico, especially over an economic issue. If you want to fight Mexico economically, fight Mexico economically. But resorting to war, I mean, you couldn't. You might be able to lie your way into a war with Iraq against Saddam Hussein, but I don't see the world rallying around America to invade Mexico. And oh yeah, I think it would just be a nightmare for us because you invade Mexico, we've got a significant Mexican American population here, and there ain't no guarantees at that point in time. So no, that's the dumbest thing in the world. And if Donald Trump is actively articulating that, I would say the last thing we should do is make him president of the United States.
Okay. Now, from what I've read, it is a rumor, and but the rumor isn't even about BRICS. I don't know where this questioner came up with that. The rumor is that it's in response to the drug cartels. Now, you may be against it for that reason, but at least let's get the rumor right. I haven't seen anything about BRICS. Did you happen to see Trump's interview with Tucker Carlson that was on last night?
No.
Well, he's making it awfully hard for you to not support him. Once again, he was appearing to be a regular viewer of it. Let's just play one.
Lunatics in the Biden administration promised to blow up Europe's biggest natural gas pipeline, and then Europe's biggest natural gas pipeline got blown up. Who did it? You're not allowed to ask questions, but we wanted to know what Donald Trump thought. He might know. Here he is. Who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline?
I don't want to get our country in trouble, so I won't answer it. But I can tell you who it wasn't, was Russia. Yeah. How about when they blamed Russia? They said Russia blew up their own pipeline. You got a kick out of that one, too. It wasn't Russia.
So he said who did it without saying it.
Yeah, Joe Biden did it. But we have a confession, so why are we even debating this?
Have any other presidential candidates weighed in on this that you know?
Not that I know of. I mean, that doesn't mean that they haven't. I've just
right.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we'll look into this a little further between now and Saturday night. That's something I think that is big enough that they should be addressing that. Wouldn't you agree?
I think it's one of the biggest issues out there. Yeah.
Okay. Jeff Gatson from Washington State. Are you concerned at all about the U.S. government's opinion of you visiting Russia? Have you been contacted at all?
Am I concerned? Of course I'm concerned. They have a history of harassing the living dog poop out of me. Have I been contacted? No, not yet. I hope I'm not contacted. I hope that, I'm doing nothing wrong. But that's never stopped them in the past. But I've been upfront about it. Anybody who thinks this is a covert trip, the fact that you're asking me the question is proof positive that this isn't something being done in the shadows, trying to sneak around. It's a book tour. I'm a journalist, and I have a book being published, and I'm going on a book tour to promote the book. I couldn't think of a more innocuous, innocent thing than that. And it's purely an innocuous, innocent thing. Now, the fact that I might be well received by the Russians might be an embarrassment to the United States government, but there's no guarantee. I think anybody who follows my Telegram channel or sees my interactions with Yuri from Novosibirsk on this program knows that there are some people in Russia that aren't happy with what I'm saying and aren't buying my snake oil. So we'll see. I hope it's a very positive experience. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you'll see it, Jeff. One of the things I've been doing this week is I'm preparing the shell of articles that I'm going to submit to you for publication in Substack while I'm traveling. So at the conclusion of each city's visit, we'll publish an article about that visit, about that city, and it'll sort of be a travel log, a diary, so to speak, of this effort that I want to share with the American public and everybody, because I just think that this trip has a great opportunity. It is a great opportunity to promote better relations between the United States and Russia. And if the United States government is opposed to that, then pound sand. I don't care. We're not at war with Russia. If we were, I would never travel to Russia, but we're not. We continue to claim that we want to have good relations with Russia.